Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Weekly Options. Well, today was a very nice day. Today is the 15th of October. This is a Wednesday. And on today, I was able to make $142,284.56 in the market today. And these are realized gains. And I was able to do this by trading several equities, including JNUG holdings, in which I won over $10,000. I had a small win in HIMS, and I had over a $28,000 gain trading SLV today, as well as JNUG. JNUG was especially nice today, winning over $71,000 trading JNUG. And then I also had some hard-fought wins trading the weekly SPX options to win a total of approximately $14,571, and then also over $17,000. So the total on all of those trades was over $142,000 today. I'll take you to the charts and show you a few of these trades and exactly where I entered and where I exited the trade and what call options I used to make those trades. So let's come over here to the SPX chart. And what I have here is the 15-minute time frame pulled up. And we all know the shenanigans of what was going on Friday. We started out very nicely, and then we had the Trump tweets that came out. When the Trump tweets came out, I figured that this was just going to be very short-lived because we've seen the market over time become more immune to the tweets of our president. And so I decided on these candles here, these prints coming down, that I wanted to go ahead and be a contrarian. And so I bought the November 28, 6,600 calls here for a price of $230. And that was a limit to open. And I was expecting with this candle to then just get a little bounce and we'd start coming right back up. But unfortunately, the VIX was sky high, and then we started drifting down throughout the day. And so later on Friday, around 12:15, I went ahead and bought some more call options. And so, yes, I was averaging down. The only things that I really do this on are if I'm trading an index where price tends to mean revert. So I bought more of the 6,600 calls this time for a limit of $212.30. So that was what I did on Friday, and of course the market continued to sell off, so I was underwater on these trades. I decided to go ahead and hold through the weekend, and on the weekend we had a very nice bounce up, and we traded very well for a while, and I thought that we would continue to move ahead on this trade. Well, lo and behold, on the 14th, we came right back down to retest these lows. It was quickly bought back up, and this was all positive news. I would have much rather have seen a gap down with quick buying than perhaps like another gap up that fades. And so we came all the way up throughout the day here, and this went very well. However, we had this unexplained sell-off here, which was later explained as yet another tweet coming into the market. So I decided to buy here at the end of day, this time buying some more of those 65.50 strikes for a price of $239.90. And so on today, we gapped up very nicely. We went into some strength here, and I was able to get both of these trades closed. I closed my 65.50 strikes for a limit of $280. And then I closed my 6,600 strikes for a limit price of $244. And so all told on that trade, as you can see from the Kinfo, I made approximately $30,000 on the trade for the day trading the SPX options. The next one that we can actually look at is what went on in JNUG. JNUG was a very nice trade for me, and it was just a fairly routine trade. I've traded JNUG off and on, and this was here on Wednesday, actually on Thursday, and on Thursday the 9th of October, I went ahead and bought the 155 call strikes for a price of $38.50. And JNUG kind of languished down a little bit, but then it jumped up here on Monday, and then we continued on to the races. And I was doing very well in this trade. I realized I was up over $70,000 in this trade, and so I just went ahead and prudently closed it out before the end of the market day today, and that limit price to close was $52.80. So that was a very nice trade. Now this trade can continue to move higher, but when I saw $71,000 sitting there in, just for a couple days of a trade, I decided to go ahead and take that off and book those profits, because I can always jump back into the position a little bit later. When you look at the linear regression channels here, you can see that it's been in this nice linear regression channel on this 15-minute chart here. These are 100 period look back, and we are just right in the middle of the channel. So this potentially has more room to run. Getting in here, making my quick 71K, I just decided to just take the trade off. If we come back and test the kind of low of this linear regression channel, it would be a nice opportunity to get back in and ride this up some more. And that's just going to be my strategy. But I just didn't want to take a chance of this just coming down a little bit, and then I'm just giving back all of those gains. So once I get up a sizable amount, 50K, 70K, 40K, I tend to just take my profits and then reset the trade. So that was JNUG, and JNUG was a very nice trade. And then the next thing we can do is just look at the SLV trade. This trade was a trade that took place really over about 3 days. We'll take these regression curves off. And I did a few things here. So this candle here is where I went ahead and bought in to open the trade. And this was Monday. This was Monday of this week at about 15 minutes before market close. And I decided to just go ahead and enter a position because silver looked very strong. Well, unfortunately, the next day on the 14th, we gapped down just a little bit, and then we started immediately coming right back up. So I bought some more of those $43 calls, this time for a limit price of $4.85. This was down from the limit price of $5 earlier. So I was now fully invested into this position. And this was on Tuesday, the 14th at market open. Well, as you know, silver trended up and then gapped up today, and it did a gap and go, and it continued all the way here. And so I got to the close of business today, and I decided to go ahead and sell those 43 calls for a limit price of $6.35 to close. And as you can see here, the total winnings on that were $28,331. So very nice trade on that trade as well. So this is just a quick look at some of the trades that went on over the last couple days and why I was able to go ahead and notch such a good win today in terms of the realized P&L. Let's just take a quick look at the monthly calendar and see how the monthly calendar is coming along. So we are exactly halfway through the month, and we are now sitting at a total of $417,000 of profits on the month. We're looking at all green days on the month, and that's really good thus far. So I'm hoping to continue this trade throughout the month of October and continue to make good decisions, continue to have a good mindset, develop patience, develop prudence, develop an abhorrence of greed, so that I can close these trades out and continue to book profits, and also continue to better my entry points. I think that's the one area in which I can continue to grow the most, is just being more patient on my entry point and getting a good fill so that I can maximize that profit potential. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new here, please like and subscribe to the channel. That's how we can continue to grow. And if you like the content, please let me know that down in the comments below. Well, folks, that's all I've got for today. Until next time, take care and happy trading.